We all know that in a modern city, the environmental situation leaves much to be desired. We have been dealing with air pollution for a long time now. Traffic jams, daily transport gridlock, and as a result, terrible smog. There is nothing to breathe in the city today. In the last 10 to 15 years, we've faced a new threat, electromagnetic smog. For humans, electromagnetic smog is the cause of many diseases and complications. TV antennas, high-voltage power lines, cell towers, satellite dishes, televisions, refrigerators, microwaves, cameras, camcorders, DVDs, and mobile phones. Everyone has a mobile phone, and sometimes more than one. Every call creates waves that penetrate the human brain. Cell phones lower immunity, alter the psyche, and increase a person's biological age. Every day of our lives, the number of electronic devices increases. Every single device is a source of an electromagnetic field. This field is unnatural for humans. The combined effect of these fields has not been studied. To date, only the negative impact on human health and life has been clearly established.
We all use mobile phones, don't we? We all use computers, we all use various electronic devices. All of this surrounds us now. And the more your home is equipped with technology, the more of these devices you have around you. And there is no doubt now that a large number of such devices definitely affects one's state of health.
In our film, we will try to understand this issue and find out which fields are most harmful to humans and how you can protect yourself if you have to live in a metropolis. It used to be thought that radioactive radiation posed the greatest danger. However, scientific research in recent decades shows that electromagnetic radiation may be more dangerous than atomic radiation. Atomic radiation is only prevalent in places where nuclear waste is stored and at nuclear power plants. Electromagnetic radiation is everywhere. Living organisms on Earth are not adapted to fluctuations in external influences such as radiation or electromagnetic smog. The human body is defenseless against an increase in background radiation, even by a few dozen %. The same applies to electromagnetic fields.
There is now extensive data showing the influence of artificial electromagnetic fields on bees, ticks, fish, birds, microorganisms, viruses, and so on. And it must be said that electromagnetic fields are a physical mutagen, and this balance, of course, this impact can lead to serious disruptions of the balance among various representatives of the ecosystem.
Any electrical device dissipates part of the energy it receives in the form of electromagnetic fields. From birth, a person lives within a constantly changing electromagnetic field. The term electromagnetic smog has emerged. Electromagnetic smog interacts with the human electromagnetic field and partially suppresses it. As a result of this interaction, the body's own field is distorted, immunity decreases, which leads to a disruption of information and cellular exchange within the body and the occurrence of various diseases.
In general, the long-term consequences of exposure to electromagnetic fields are defined as premature aging syndrome. This includes various age, the appearance of early age-related pathology, as well as a decrease in performance and memory, reduced immunity, and impaired reproductive function. Now, very serious attention is being paid to the possible link between oncological diseases and exposure to electromagnetic fields. It must be said that quite extensive research has been carried out abroad. Studies were conducted in Sweden, the United States of America, Finland, and Denmark on the link to oncological pathology, with the possible impact of 50 Hz magnetic fields and microwave electromagnetic radiation.
For example, in Sweden, there is already an officially recognized disease called electromagnetic allergy. This is a disease that doctors diagnose in a certain way and that is treated. And there are already clinics there that are located in the forest. An entirely wooden house where there is absolutely nothing electromagnetic, where special shielding is installed, so that neither a phone nor a computer works inside, nothing. And people live there, and they try to treat them for this electromagnetic allergy.
Electromagnetic smog, for brevity we will call it SMOG-2, is the aggregate of radiation from man-made devices and equipment. In the last 20 years alone, the number of devices and equipment using electricity has increased 1,000-fold. Now electronics, which we can no longer do without, accompany us around the clock, at home, at work, and at leisure. Televisions, microwave ovens, mobile phones, computers. On one hand, they help us, but on the other hand, they pose an invisible but certain threat to our health.
I think that any artificial electromagnetic fields, regardless of their specific wave structure, whatever their wave structure might be,
in terms of intensity,
in terms of energy flux density, I think that collectively speaking, since there are so many of them, collectively it's actually quite harmful, to put it briefly. Quite harmful for humans because it's all completely unnatural. And when you look at the combination of these different fields, we might not yet fully realize just how negative and detrimental they are for human health and well-being.
Special attention is paid to the vulnerability of a child's body to electromagnetic radiation. Exposure to electromagnetic fields in children under 16 has a more negative impact on their health than on adults. Due to the smaller size and volume of a child's head, the specific absorption rate is higher and radiation penetrates deeper into those parts of the brain that, as a rule, are not exposed in an adult. It has been proven that electromagnetic radiation not only accumulates but is also passed on to future generations.
A woman who has conceived a child, in whom this miracle begins to develop, this is the most critical and most vulnerable moment. And any impact on this process, whether it's the mother's emotions, some external fields, or God forbid radiation, can of course very strongly affect this process. And these first stages of development, they are the most critical and the most vulnerable. And here, the influence of electromagnetic fields can be very significant.
Both the public and the scientific community are very concerned about the impact of mobile phone radiation on children. The World Health Organization, the European Commission's Scientific Committee, and national committees in many countries are prioritizing the protection of children from the effects of mobile phone radiation.
And look, now in the world, all over the world, the number of children who have serious illnesses from childhood is growing. We are already talking about the fact that so-called epigenetic changes in the population are occurring. This means that the person who has some negative factors then passes these factors on to their children, already through genetic means. And this, of course, is the scariest part, because it already affects the entire population. It affects what the population on Earth will be like in the 21st and 22nd centuries.
What methods of protecting humans from the effects of electromagnetic smog exist today? As before, there are three. These are distance, time, and shielding. Let's take a closer look at each of them. What is distance? The further we are from the source of the electromagnetic field, the better it is for us. What is time? The less time we spend near a source of an electromagnetic field, the better it is for us. Unfortunately, we can't always rely on distance and time to protect our health. Let's consider the matter of shielding. Shielding is one of the most effective methods of protection. The electromagnetic field is weakened by the shield because an opposing field is created within its thickness. Either the radiation source or the workplace is shielded. Shields can be either reflective or absorbent.
There are special buildings where all this is specifically designed, and they have shielding meshes. They now produce shielding wallpaper that you can stick on the wall and ground it in a certain way, and you'll have a very good shield, and then any other wallpaper can be applied on top. There are wonderful shungite coatings available now that also provide excellent shielding. And when you, at the very least, shield your bedroom from electromagnetic radiation, it significantly contributes to a good and healthy sleep.
In St. Petersburg, at the Military Medical Academy, an experiment has been underway for over 15 years, studying the shielding of humans from the effects of electromagnetic smog. For this purpose, a ward was built, completely shielded from the influence of electromagnetic fields using the shielding material shungite.
Our shungite ward was, as a matter of fact, the very first one ever built in Russia, It was actually constructed, if I recall correctly, back in the year 1994, which was quite some time ago, to be honest. And so we have over 16 years of experience using it.
But here is what caught our attention almost immediately. When we began hospitalizing patients in the ward, these were individuals with hypertension and mainly ischemic heart disease. I noticed during my rounds that the patients actually started sleeping better than before. In these patients, their blood pressure seemed to normalize more quickly, and their heart pains disappeared at a faster rate than I had previously observed. And when, after a full year had passed, we carefully calculated and analyzed the average indicators for blood pressure, the level of pain experienced, the overall rate of improvement in health, and also the speed at which the effect began to appear, we found confirmation of these preliminary empirical observations. And indeed, the well-being of patients with hypertension and coronary heart disease truly improved faster, and the improvement was significant. The improvement in the course of diseases during treatment in the shungite room was objectively verifiable and thoroughly proven using modern, up-to-date methods of scientific analysis.
We decided to test how shielding can protect a person from electromagnetic smog. In order to accomplish this task, we turned to a dry construction mix factory where we created a model of a shielded room.
The effect is as follows. The floors and plaster compositions used by our clients possess properties that protect against electromagnetic radiation. That is, the materials have the property of absorbing electromagnetic radiation.
The main shielding material is the natural stone shungite. What is shungite? There are several hypotheses about the formation of shungite. One of them is cosmic. They say it is a fragment of the planet Phaeton. Others say it is a volcanic formation. According to a third hypothesis, these are deposits of rocks similar to coal or oil. Shungite consists of silicate forms, silicon oxide and carbon. This composite in sintered form is the basis of this natural stone. The only shungite deposit is located in Karelia. The nearest village is called Shunga. Shungite is not found anywhere else in the world. This suggests its special origin.
Somewhere in 1878, Professor Inostrancev first said, "This is not coal, this is shungite." That is, it is a special form of carbon substance. Well, at first, simply electrically conductive materials, shielding materials, were created. We made them for the defense industry, providing such a level of signal absorption to, ensure the secrecy of that signal. It was all successful. Well, as for making shielding materials for protection against man-made radiation, there are no questions there. And today we are making materials. In general, it provides reliable protection, which is confirmed not only by the attenuation itself, but also by medical professionals. Yes.
Let's return to our experiment. The subjects, about 100 people, were to stay in this shielded room for 15 to 20 minutes. Before and after this procedure, we assessed the person's condition using Professor Korotkov's GDV camera. The results were truly astonishing. The human body, once free from the harmful effects of electromagnetic fields, begins to recover at an incredible speed. In most test subjects, their energy state improves significantly within 15 to 20 minutes. 80 to 85% of the subjects reported a noticeable improvement in their condition.
The Military Medical Academy has set up several wards. It works. I'll say more. So today these shungite rooms, they have started to spread. Today there's a shungite room in the Frunze Health Resort in Sochi. It's quite a respected elite health resort. Today a shungite room in Pyatigorsk has been built in a good resort too. And today, they've started building these rooms everywhere because they believe that staying in this room somehow restores a person's psychophysiological state.
Shielding your own apartment is very simple. Shielding materials like shungite plaster are sold in hardware stores and applied just like regular plaster. If the floor, walls and ceiling in your apartment are protected by shielding material, the impact of electromagnetic radiation will be reduced many times over. Thus, we can conclude that shielding a person from the influence of electromagnetic smog is not only desirable, but a necessary condition for our life in a metropolis.
So the problem exists, it's a colossal problem, and we must of course pay attention to this issue. The only way is to raise public awareness and increase understanding of this problem. Then it will be possible to move on to new technologies. We live in a new world, and in this new world we face new threats.